Okay, so same situation where my partner's going to post out his foot to keep his base. However, this time, okay, they don't always just keep their hips where they are. Sometimes when the foot comes out, they actually slide up your body. In that case, you may find that the range has changed a little bit because you weren't keeping them down as low anymore. So if they slide up the body, you may be like, wait a second, I can't get my knee through, can't get my shin in between us, right? They're a little bit too high. In that case, again, we have an easy solution all queued up. And this will come into me using that alternating scapular extension and retraction we talked about previously, okay? So I go to bridge, that comes out, but he's high up on my body, okay? So the good news from here is, again, we always want to think, I'm pausing in the middle of the frame here. When your partner is on top, they have the advantage, but what you have is you can fix them in their position so you can create the bottom position as a limit to their movement, right? Now in this case, okay, you just lift that arm for a second. What do I have here, okay? He's in a good position, but I do have my elbow inside, both my top and bottom, right? And furthermore, I'm not just here, but you notice how I brought my leg up immediately. So what I'm doing here is creating basically wedges on both sides of his leg. So go ahead and bring that back in, okay? So at this moment, what I'm gonna do, if I get here, I can't really shrimp enough. He's too high to get my bottom knee through. So all I'm gonna do is bump him with my top knee, and I bring this one through, okay? Bring my top arm through. Once your elbow's through, your whole arm will poke through. And now from here, I'm in a pretty good spot. The other thing is, as I do this, I don't want him to be able to reach around. If you have a collar, right? It's not so much a thing with no-gi, but if you have a collar, he might be able to reach around and get a grip here and start choking you out. So what I do is from here, I actually shrug my shoulders in this case. So as he's grabbing that, I'm already going to be out at this point. Now you'll notice that I have one arm on the outside, one arm inside, and that is so from here, now that I've fed my arm where I want it, I can drop my leg back down and I can start just using this elbow and shoulder behind him. But I also control this. See how my elbow's in tight? I've seen before people go, oh, so you shoot your arm through when you start doing this. It's like, man, somebody good is going to snatch this arm and triangle you for sure. So notice the difference here. Come into the wedge, bump them up to get my arm through. Both of my arms are tight. And I'm shrugged so that my neck is protected. Now from here, just bumping with that elbow and shoulder, but I control his ankle the whole time. So I make sure I can safely get to my knees, because if we go here and I pummel both under, you can do that. That will definitely get you out of mount. But what happens from here is as you start to do the same technique, he's just going to kick this leg over your head and get to side control. And then a lot of times you're just right back from the frying pan into the fire, okay? So one more time. Okay, goes out, but he's high. So immediately here, as I retracted my hip into hip flexion, I bring my arms in and I shrug. Okay, now from here, a little bump. Now I can bring my foot back down for a post, and I can start to move myself, okay, at the same time that I'm bumping up with my elbow and my shoulder and trapping that ankle so I can safely come to knees.